It's time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shine.
¿Qué onda, vatos locos? Damas y caballeros, you know what time it is? It's time for the Shoe Shine. It's your boy Dave from the 408 coming to you all the way from my new casa in Las Vegas. Shout out to everybody joining us in the chat. And let me introduce to you my co-host all the way from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia's Drew Evo. Drew Evo, ¿qué pasa, homie?
What's up, Dave?
Oh, man. Oh, no, man. I should be really freaking excited this week. I should be excited because supposedly the biggest pay-per-view of the year is happening in my new hometown. There's all kinds of media event, and everybody's going to start descending on the town tomorrow that's in the business of boxing. And I'm not excited. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Hey, if you guys want to chime in and get in on this conversation, 702-710-3627. I got some funny shit happening on my end, Drew, technology-wise here. I'm not reading or seeing comments. Drop a comment. Let us know you're watching. I see the likes. Hit the likes. Make sure you subscribe. And make sure you freaking call the show and get your prediction in because I'm opening the show up to you guys today. To everybody that's got a voice and wants to let their voice be heard today. And let everybody know where you stand this weekend. Do you got Tank Davis? Or do you have the young, sensational Ryan Garcia, two giant stars in their own rights for nothing on the table? But Drew, before we get all to all that, man, we had a spectacular heavyweight fight this weekend between the juggernaut Joe Joyce, who trains right here in Las Vegas with Ismael Salas, the Cuban coach that has been on a hot streak. Drew, everyone on the round table, Joe Habib, shout out to Joe Habib, ringside reporter live on YouTube. Just about everybody said Joe Joyce was going to win this shit, including me. Now, I actually thought that Zalil Zhang has enough goods to make it the distance, but I didn't foresee the stoppage, Drew. Did you? Shit, remind me, how did you have this fight going on this weekend, man? I think everyone I talked to thought for sure Joe Joyce was going to smash through this guy.
Nah, I had a late stoppage.
But for Joyce, right?
Yeah, late stoppage for Joyce.
Yeah, I thought, it was very possible he was going to wear Zhang down, the Chinese former silver medalist, the 39-year-old. I thought he was going to wear him down and possibly stop him in the 11th or 12th as well, but it turned out to be the complete opposite. So, you know what? Drew, why don't you riff on that? I just got to check what's going on here because I think we got nobody watching yet, or I got some technological issues, so... But anyway,
I just commented.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just commented in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Where's everybody at? Where's everybody at? Indeed, I got to make a better point of promoting. So if you're watching in the replay, let us know what you think about this weekend's fight. Let us know as soon as possible. Shit, who do you think is going to win this fight, Drew? But why were we so wrong about Zalil Zhang, the Big Bang? I like to call him the Big Bang Theory, but he goes by the Big Bang. Why were we all so wrong about him? I thought he had a fantastic fight against Hrgovic, the other heavyweight that nobody wanted to fight. I thought he won that fight, but it turned out he didn't get the decision. It was a loss. So I'm thinking, like, what did I not see that was Joe Joyce's weak points, or why was I fooled into thinking Joe Joyce was more special than he is? And I'm not dismissing that he's not going to do well still in the heavyweight division. But what did we see wrong in Zalil Zhang, man? Is he really the top five now?
I tell you the truth. I think he beats Anthony Joshua. I think he beats Deontay Wilder. Zhang. Like, if you look at it, I thought he was robbed against Hrgovic. I thought I had to score 8-4 with the knockdown for Zhang and everything. I just didn't like. He caught him. He kept catching him with the straight left, and then after that they adjusted more so they can get more into it. And he's like, "Yo, fake that left hand, and then go to the right, and then go back to the left." And he did that. This was like a clinic or a punch. Like people were thinking Zhang was going to be the punching bag, but Joyce was the punching bag. Like, dude landed 56% of his total punches against Joe Joyce, and I scored it every round for Zhang.
You know, what's funny is that I've got the picture up here, not just that sweet left hand, power left hand that Zhang has, because he's got a devastating left hand as a southpaw heavyweight boxer, but he hit him with all kinds of other shots, man. And was it just the speed, guys? Let me know, man. Shout out to Sontel Media Team, Batman Boxing. I appreciate you guys, Boxing MMA 365. Is Joe Joyce, I mean, he looked slow in all his prior fights, but he manages to have one of the highest output of the heavyweight boxers, of averaging over 80 punches thrown per round. They're not lightning fast, but they get the job done. They have consistently gotten the job done. But against Lil Zhang, man, the guy can, against him, he could bang, and he was able to land, like you said, that power left hand, just had his way with it. And Joe Joyce had no answers to it. Was there anything that guy could have done? I mean, he started throwing more punches, but they were just kind of pathetically slow.
You know, as they say, he bangs everything. Pause.
Yeah, Boxing MMA 365 says Zhang's hands were fast as hell for a huge man. He does have a very fast left hand, and what I foresaw happening in the middle of the fight, Drew, and you started to see just a little bit of it, was that Zhang was going to slow down because he's typically always gassed out in the mid-round, and then he comes back. And in that Hrgovic fight, we really saw that he was able to rally back, but it wasn't enough to sway the judges on the road for him. And I thought that this was going to happen. This was going to be Joe Joyce's opportunity to rally back into the fight. But that face, it just did not hold up, man. The swelling. I think you and I were texting, and I even texted it. You know, I tweeted it out, man, that I didn't think his face was going to hold up. And you guys could see there what a job that left hand did. Man. Drew, did you think the fight was going to get stopped by the doctors as soon as the referee started asking for the doctor?
Yeah, I said it. I said it. I was on Plastic Patty live stream during the fight. That was on the StreamYard, and I said that, you know, they were gonna, once they were looking at his eye, they was like, they're only gonna give him like 2 more rounds max to do something. And if they don't, this was gonna be stopped.
Yeah, he definitely. They gave him an opportunity. They asked him. I saw the ringside doctor checking his eyes and asking him, you know, about his vision, if he could see clearly. And after the second attempt, he whispered into the referee that it was probably, it's done. You know, he can't go on fighting like this. But I'm curious. I didn't see the scorecards. If anybody knows in the chat how they were actually scoring the fight, because, you know, in the UK, Drew, you can't leave it in the judge's hands. And if it wasn't for Zhang getting the TKO, we don't know if what the outcome could have been if Joe Joyce was going to rally back. But I'm concerned for Joe Joyce is slow hands, guys. Is his hands too slow for the heavyweight division? What's going to happen for him? He's obviously got a bunch of good fights that he can put together for himself. I'm not anticipating Joe Joyce disappearing even at his late age. He's got a fantastic corner. He'll rebound, Drew. But now it's time for Zhang to mix it up, man. And I know they're talking about this heavyweight tournament, right? Ruli Ramundo, shout out to everybody just joining us. Mom Food Planning Things, D-Style, Ruli Ramundo. Yeah, Joy's face fouled him. Oh, I appreciate that, D-Style. Yeah, Joe Joyce's face definitely didn't hold up, Drew. And now it bothers me because, well, you know, Joe Joyce fought Usyk in the, what was that semi-professional league that they had?
Contender.
What was it?
It's like the European version of the Contender.
Yeah, they fought before. Joe Joyce, in that fight against, you guys can go look for that fight against Usyk. Usyk schooled him easily, right? So it's not like ever in the back of my mind I thought he could do well against that type of heavyweight like Usyk, who can move so well and has the fast hands. But against Zhang, I thought this fight was going to be straight up 50-50, but much more in favor of Joe Joyce coming out victorious and coming out. And now I have to rethink this whole heavyweight division all over again, like most of us do.
I look at it like this. I seriously look at it like this. There's a rumor tournament going on. Why not have a Super Six? Like, seriously. And the last 2 guys, you have Zhang and Joe Joyce in there.
Yeah.
Like,
do you have would you have Andy Ruiz? I mean, shape up this. Okay, for you guys that don't know about this, okay, the 2 biggest heavyweight champions in the world, there's Tyson Fury and Usyk. And their potential fight this summer fell apart over money, right? It's the fight game, prize fighting. And specifically because Saudi Arabia made an offer. It didn't fall through, but everybody knows that if you wait long enough, Saudi Arabia could host this super fight and give you tons of money. And now Drew's wanting to interject. But now they're talking about a rumor where this fight could potentially have Anthony Joshua fighting as well. 3 superstars. So almost like a mini tournament, right, Drew? But we've had that Super 6 tournament. Us real boxing fans know how successful the Super 6 tournament was when they did that with the super middleweights years back on Showtime. We want to see the 6 best heavyweights go at it. I want to see 6 great heavyweights go at it in a tournament.
I look at it like this. They need to have a Super 6 because the 4-man is not a tournament. It's like winner facing the other. That's it. You have a Super 6. Everybody goes around once and fights each other. The last 2 with the least amount of points after that round, they're eliminated. Now, the highest points will face the lowest points of the 4 that's left, and the second closest 2 will fight each other, and then you'll go to the finals for the undisputed title. Like, that's how it was when the Super 6 took place. That took like 2.5 years to get done. And I think you can get it done maybe in a year and a half.
Yeah, fighters definitely need time. So I was hoping that we could have the whole damn thing in one night, like a karate tournament. No, I know that's not possible. You can't have it all in one night. But if you are to begin this path towards a tournament, there's rumors going around that Tyson Fury would entertain Andy Ruiz this summer, right? And I see a comment here from Team Batman Boxing, and he brings up a great point because he says, but Zhang in China against a Ruiz-type opponent is something that would be huge for boxing over there. A Chinese heavyweight champion would be a huge, stupendous, momentous event for the sport of boxing. It's never happened, right? I mean, it never happened that we had a Mexican heavyweight until Andy Ruiz had it for one. He at least had the title for at least one fight. But yeah, it's a big deal, and they're thinking about hosting it, Drew. And I think it's a great idea. But and Andy Ruiz is a road dog if he were to take a fight like that as well, too.
Like, I look at it like this. You have the 6 of them in a tournament. These fights are probably like closer than people think, and a lot of these fights are closer than people think. I wouldn't have Usyk fight Fury in the first round, the first fight. Yeah, I would have Deontay fight AJ in the first fight. I would do it like a random drawing. If Zhang gets in, you do it like this: have the 4 guys in it, and then whoever's like the mandatory. Let's say if Zhang's a mandatory, you get him in. And who's ever the second in line in those things, let's say Deontay Wilder is currently number 1 in WBC. You let the second guy in the WBC get in, which is Andy Ruiz and everything. Or you let Joyce in, and because there's better fights with Joyce involved, because there's more lucrative fights and everything with Joyce involved. You have a Zhang rematch. You got that potential Usyk versus Joyce match. You got AJ versus Joyce, and you got Fury versus Joyce and everything. That's the reason why you have him in. But Andy Ruiz, you can have that 3rd fight with AJ, that fight with Deontay Wilder.
Right. They haven't met up yet.
And the thing about it is, you may have an undisputed champion before the next round of the tournament. You will have an undisputed champion for the last round of the tournament, but at the end of it, you're going to have one guy that's going to leave with all those belts at the end of that tournament.
Is the ultimate goal to get to the Usyk Tyson Fury? Is that where we're all trying to get to?
Well, you're going to get to it eventually, but the question is it going to be an undisputed? Are the belts going to be on the line in that first round? Because is Usyk or Fury going to win enough matchups in order when they get enough to get up to each other in that first round of fight? If that tournament does take place like that, like I saw a comment say, guys put out because like Jermaine Taylor's put out because of the brutal knockout he took. Andre Durrell took a bad when Arthur Emmett got disqualified for a illegal cheap shot at him. when he was down, like Mikkel Kessler, I don't know, like Mikkel Kessler was out of the tournament by then because like I think he lost. Trying to think who knocked Mikkel Kessler out of the tournament. I'm not sure if it was I don't know if the Foch knocked him out because I know he beat or somebody else, but.
Well, shit. Let's say if anybody in the chat remembers who Mikhail Kessler lost to in the Super 6 tournament.
I know Ward beat Mikkel Kessler. I'm trying to say that whoever had the lowest points, I think Mikkel Kessler had a victory over, I believe it was Arthur Abraham. Oh, no, actually, he beat Carl Foch in that tournament, too.
Well, I'm getting Rem PMC. Shout out to boy. He knows all his facts, man, and his history. He says Ward beat him, and Boxing MMA says Froch beat him. Man, we should bring up those that tournament, how it went. We should bring that up on one of these episodes, man, because it's looking like it's a potential thing that we might actually get a heavyweight tournament. And I wanted to point out, our boy Sontel Media says that Zhang with anybody in China could easily sell 1 million pay-per-view at $10 a pop. That $10 probably is equivalent to Lord knows what here in the U.S., Drew. But it's a great point people are bringing up because it's time for him to be a national hero and to get his get his shine on with such a big win like that. And the attention is on him that he deserves a good fight in his home country. Even though he's we've talked about Canelo going to Guadalajara and now he's going home to Guadalajara. He's the undisputed champion and getting an opportunity to showcase himself in his home country. But Zhang, does he fight somebody that's a real threat? Does he fight a challenge? Or does he take an easier fight against someone in the bottom of the pack, per se?
Before I get to that point, I just want to put it out there. To the people that discredit Andre Ward's career, Andre Ward has one of the best resumes that you've seen because he's beaten a Mikkel Kessler of Carl Foch and Arthur Abraham, Sergey Kovalev twice. Chad Dawson.
Excuse me, guys. I'm burping like crazy. No, the Super 6 tournament was a really big deal, Drew. And you point that out because right now we're kind of wishing that the super middleweight division was stacked like it was stacked then. You know, not to say that Canelo's opponents are weak, or I'm not going to bash on John Ryder, but it just seems like that was a better era for super middleweights as far as talent wise. We've got some super big talented guys. But getting them to fight has been a challenge as of late, and now PBC is kind of forcing them to fight each other. And this weekend, man, I'm glad you brought up super middleweights because I want to see how David Morrell is going to look. I was reading about that original fighter. You guys might remember Agbeko. The guy was the fighter he was going to face. Agbeko, Drew, it turned out that the Nevada State Athletic Commission had seen something in an MRI, and they requested him to get tested again. And the second one, he was cleared. But from what I'm reading is that this other opponent that he'll be facing on Saturday as a last-minute replacement, that they got this dude for, like, dirt cheap. If you haven't seen how many fighters are on this pay-per-view card, Truth, it's a freaking long list. There's, like, at least 8 or 12. Actually, like, I want to be correct about this card, man. There's a lot of fighters, dude. And I'm reading that supposedly Agbeko was just dropped because he was asking for too much money, which it's kind of fucked up. But anyways, David Morrell is someone I'm absolutely looking forward to as a super middleweight this weekend, Drew. We talked about the 1 million pay-per-views. Zhang could do it in his own country, but we're going to find out this weekend whether or not America can build pay-per-view stars. Because even though we're talking about 1 million, which it used to be, wasn't shit, right? Oscar De La Hoya did that all the time. You know, of course, Floyd Money Mayweather became Money Mayweather only after Pretty Boy Floyd went away and he started making all these big pay-per-views. But can his protege, Tank Davis, finally break $1 million? And is he going to do it with the help of this young Chicano, Mexican-American superstar who is not a champion, Drew? That's what I'm saying. Like, why? I should be freaking excited. Everybody's excited. Everybody's like, oh, first of all, $1,300 is the cheapest seats I can get right now if I was to actually pay to go see this fight. $1,300 for 2 seats, and they're not great seats. And T-Mobile Arena is super steep. So when I say nosebleeds, they're nosebleeds, man. They suck. $1,300 is a lot of money. Now I'm finding out, Drew, that for $105, I could go watch it at the casino per person. $105 to watch it on a TV, closed caption. How about none of those fucking options? How about I just stand outside T-Mobile Arena and hang out and ask people how's it going inside, right? How about I do that instead, Drew?
Or you just grab your computer, you grab your tablet and go on a legal site.
Yeah, Boxing MMA 365. Like Becco was out of the fight. Yeah, man, they pulled him out of the fight at the last minute. And Falcao, if he's Brazilian, I'm not sure. I think I've seen him fight before, but Falcao has been given the task to fight David Morrell, which is, as a last minute replacement, man, I'm not feeling it. Yeah, Boxing MMA, it's $105 to watch it at the MGM Grand on a big screen TV. Saludos, Nando, to our boy who just joined us.
Nando, you're late.
That's $105. But yeah, man, this is a huge weekend for the sport of boxing. We're going to see if this is really true. One of my boys that I follow, JC, he's helped us tremendously earlier. He had his own media company, New York NY Fights, or not NY Fights, that's a magazine. But you remember our boy JC, he produced the Culinary Fighter, a docu-series about fighters and eating great food and whatnot. And he's just a fantastic producer. But man, he really was stressing that he did not see the marketing by Showtime and DAZN for this fight, Drew. So, I mean, if there's anybody in here, everyone in here follows the sport of boxing, but casual fans, are they freaking getting advertisements, Drew? Do you think they did a good job?
I don't know. Be honest, I don't know. I really am very iffy about these numbers still. Very iffy about the numbers.
You're not feeling confident, what they're feeling. They're feeling that it's easily going to bring 1 million. People are talking about 1.2 million. That would be a smashing success.
But you know what? Even if they doesn't get what they want, they're gonna lie about the numbers anyway. So I don't care.
All right. Well, hey guys, if you guys want to call in and let us know, first of all, we're going to get into our picks and why I'm picking this person, why Drew's picking that person. But I would love to give you guys an opportunity either in the chat or via phone call if you want to get in on this discussion. And we'll get into that. There's a lot of good people on this fight, but all of a sudden I feel like I've lost some of my pictures that I had ready to go. Anyway, Drew, here is the full card, actually. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia, obviously at 136 pounds, a catch weight with a rehydration clause. Does the rehydration clause play a big factor? I say it does. I think Ryan Garcia easily walks around much heavier than 146 pounds. He's being allotted 10 pounds from the weigh-in on Friday not to come over at 146. But now, Drew, real talk, man, I don't give a shit. If whatever the pay is, if I can't make 146 on Saturday, I'm going ahead and coming in at whatever the fuck I feel like. And damn people for calling me unprofessional, Drew, because why would they ever call off the fight? Would you call off a super fight at the last minute over a pound or two? Nobody's done that. Not even Lomachenko in his second career fight against Orlando Salido said the fight's over, But let me know what you guys think. David Morrell Jr. is the co-main, I said here, and Agbekpo is still listed on this, and Agbekpo has been pulled out of the fight, guys, like I said, for a co-main. It's fucked up at the last minute that the Nevada State Athletic Commission did not grant him his license to fight after a second MRI that cleared him to fight. They said that they wanted to see him take a year off. David Morrell Jr. needs to be tested, even though he's at his 8th professional fight. If he's going to be what I think he's going to be, a potential future world champion, he doesn't need soft touches, and he doesn't need a showcase fight, especially as the co-main event, guys. All right, this is really interesting and really fun. Gabriel Rosado, Drew, you remember Gabriel Rosado? He got robbed of an opportunity to fight Zurdo Ramirez just like 2-3 weeks ago. He came in and in shape on fight. He came in, weighed perfectly on the scales, and Zurdo Ramirez came in like 20 pounds overweight or 30 pounds, or he came in as a heavyweight, right? But he's fighting Beck the Bully. Drew, are you excited about that one?
Tell you the truth.
The rematch.
Yeah. Do I really expect Gabe to get another knockout in this fight or sneak again? No.
All right. Nando says a Saturday morning 10-pound rehydration limit. Saturday morning. Thank you for clearing that up. But it gives Ryan more time to recuperate. It's no biggie. Well, it could pan out to be nothing. It could be a nothing burger, as they say, or it could be. But if I was Ryan Garcia, like you said, if it's just a morning thing, shit, I'm carving up after that, but not to the point where I get sick. But he accepted it, Drew, right? He accepted this fight under those conditions, and that's what he wanted. If he felt comfortable he could do that on fight night, then it's on him. Whether or not it's going to play a factor, we will see. All right, here. Ryan and Tank were on IG a few hours ago agreeing to a winner takes all purse. See, man, thank you, Boxing MMA 365. Even I'm not on. Did you hear about this, Drew?
No. Why the fuck are they going to do that shit? You know what, man? That's a crack of bullshit anyway. Oh, I'm going to bet you my purse. And then that fact, they don't even talk about it.
But maybe you're trying to draw up this betting shit. This betting shit like, oh, I'll bet you my purse, where that came from. That came from the YouTube superstar, Jake Paul, constantly out. Oh, I'll bet you all this. I'll bet you all that. But you're right, Drew. At the end of the day, it's nothing written in contract that you get to take my purse. And I think they're just probably trying to draw up interest because, as I pointed out earlier, my boy JC said he doesn't think they've done adequate job promoting this, DAZN and Showtime. And I tend to agree with that, which is why they're on their social media platforms. All right, let's take this call from the 5 and Dime. Hey, 510, you're on the Shoe Shine.
Hey, what's up, Dave? What's up, Drew?
What up? What up? Are you excited? Are you? I don't know if I'm depressed over here or something, but I'm just not that excited. I don't know what's wrong with me, man.
I know, dude. That's why I'm calling to wake you and Drew up, man. You guys feel like you're sleeping over there, man.
No.
It ain't Drew this time. It's me, dude. It's me. I'm just not excited.
Yeah.
You being like you are not debating me tonight.
Maybe it's because there's no titles. Listen, maybe it's because there's really no title. There's nothing. I mean, what's on the line? Like, who's the biggest social media star? I mean, they're advertised. They want us to think that whoever wins this fight is going to be the face of boxing. But when Zalil Zhang can do 1 million buys in China, why can't I call him the face of boxing? Why can't how does anybody take that title away from Canelo Alvarez?
Well, look, the face of boxing is whatever you want it to be, man. If you're a fan of Ryan, he's the face of boxing to you. If you're a fan of Loma, that's the face of boxing to you, man. It's like whatever you want, man. You're paying for it, you make the decision, right? And yeah, man, I got no problem with it. The main reason I was calling in is because I'm. It's kind of confusing to me. Like, people are trying to put Tank and Ryan on the same level, right? But what Ryan is doing is actually pretty amazing because he's still kind of a prospect and he's chasing after a big timer. Whereas Tank has been in the game for years, and this is his biggest fight. It's not a fight with Loma under his belt. There's no fight with Loma with his belt. There's no fight with Devin under his belt. There's no fight with Teofimo under his belt. Those are his contemporaries, not Ryan. You know what I'm saying? So this is like, for me, I'm proud of Ryan, man. He's stepping up, and he's 24, 25 years old, man. This is like the beginning. Whereas Tank, this is like, he should have done this shit a long time ago. This is the kind of fight he should have taken like 5 years ago, So
I'm going to agree with you right there, Nando. For all those people that are casual, there's going to be a lot of casual sports fans watching this fight this Saturday. And that's going to be the big driver in whether or not this thing generates 1 million or 1 million plus or falls flat on its ass as a flop. But you're absolutely right when you said that they are not on the same level. You have like 4 or 5 years of professional experience between them. You have Tank Davis already fighting in pay-per-views. You've got him fighting big names like Sniper Pedraza or Gamboa. He's already fought big stars in boxing and former world champions. He's already done this, which is why when I get to my prediction, you'll easily know why I'm favoring Tank Davis. I do give credit to Ryan Garcia for stepping up and wanting this big fight. I'm going to go to my co-host, Drew. Is Ryan Garcia even ready for what's going to go down on Saturday? Being that he's only, 23, 24, he's just about a year apart from Devin Haney. Is he ready for this shit?
I look at it like this. Tank has a lot more to lose than Ryan does because if Ryan loses, he can move on and still have a productive career. Tank loses, he's likely done. But, Ryan already had that step-up competition with Luke Campbell. So, if people are going to look at it that he's still a prospect, stop it. He's not a prospect anymore. He was an interim fucking champion already.
Oh, he was?
He fought Luke fucking Campbell.
I know. Luke Campbell was a solid win. It was actually the best win that we've covered on the Shoe Shine for him. He got up off the canvas, but it was also the fight, Drew, that has stuck with me. And Nando, I have to keep going back to that Luke Campbell fight because Luke Campbell was not only an elite amateur, former Olympian, gold medalist, I believe, but I think that's the fight that shows the flaws that still have not been corrected by Ryan Garcia. Ultimately, that he's fighting a southpaw again this weekend, like he fought in Javier Fortuna, where we saw a lot of these flaws. Even though he's come up victorious, these flaws, I think, are really hard to ignore. And so when people have been asking me randomly in random chats hey, what's up, Shoeshine? How do you have this fight going and why? And they all bug out, like, because they're expecting me to say Ryan Garcia is going to win this weekend. But Nando, let me ask you, man, has Ryan, in your eyes, corrected the fundamental mistakes in his skill set that are going to help him overcome being knocked out by Tank Davis Saturday?
Well, look, dude. First of all, I do favor Tank, man. You just have to. He's a talented fighter. He's a talented vet, right? Like I favor Tank, man. Like, you know what I mean? But if I was putting money down just for fun, I put it on Ryan, man. And here's why, dude. Take a little trip to the past, right? With Joe Goosen. Like, I was a huge Chico Corrales fan back in the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, dude, when Joe Goosen was a trainer for Casa Mayor, and Casa Mayor, kind of beat the crap out of Diego Corrales in their first fight. And almost immediately after that fight, Goosen switched over to Corrales and completely turned Corrales' career around, man. I have a lot of faith in Joe Goosen to iron out whatever issues that Ryan has with his defense, with his offense, with coming up with a good game plan. I think Ryan has the better trainer in this matchup. And I think that's going to come up huge, man. And here's another thing. You got to go back to where Ryan is a prospect. I mean, he was like, I put him like where Teofimo was right before he fought Loma. He was a guy that still had to kind of prove himself, right? No, this is the same situation. Nobody thought Teofimo was going to beat Loma. Nobody gave him a chance. They thought he wasn't ready. I mean, come on, dude. Let's remember the facts, bro. Don't just dig in. Remember how it really was, man.
Yeah, there's a couple things.
I'm not saying that Ryan is on the same level with Teofimo. I'm saying it's a similar situation, right? Similar situation. And as far as going back to what I consider him to be like a contender / prospect, like trying to get to the next level, his improvement is not static. He's not a 30-year-old guy that this is as good as he's going to get. What he's shown is as good as he's going to get, right? Like, I think he still has room to improve. And I think with the help of Joe Goosen, he will improve. And I think he will show up this weekend. Whether he beats Tank or not, I don't know. Like I said, I favor Tank. I don't think we're going to see the same flaws we saw in Ryan over the last couple of years. And I think we will see an improved fighter, man.
All right, I'm going to give my laundry list. I want Drew to counter your point, but I'm going to give my laundry list reasons why I don't think Ryan can overcome his fundamental mistakes this weekend. And remember, when I say that, man, we watch boxing because at any moment you could root for the underdog and an upset can happen. Ryan Garcia has one of the most lethal left hooks in the sport of boxing. He has one of the fastest set of hands in the sport of boxing. And he has a fantastic lead counter hook. I mean, he's deadly with his left hand, whether it's to the body or to the hook. He's got some gifts. But will it be enough? I'm going to say no. Drew, do you want to counter what Nando was saying?
I just want to know why the fuck he said just for fun. I'm going to put my money on Ryan. It's
well,
not
shit, because you could win big.
When you having money and everything, it's not just for fun. You'll lose that shit.
You want to make a bet right now, Drew?
Hey, Nando, I'm with you.
Man, you want to make a bet, Drew?
I'm just saying, man. You should be saying
$10 right now, homie. $10. Hey, $10, man.
Oh, okay.
Come on, buy me a cup of coffee this Saturday, man.
There you go. There you go. You want to take that bet?
You want $10? I'll tell you this
There'll
right
be a
now.
free cup of coffee from Drew, man.
$10 Tank knocks out Ryan.
Yeah, okay.
All right, homie. You got it, dog.
You got it. $10.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun bet, dude. That's all I meant. I wasn't going to bet no $200 or nothing. Damn, dude. Calm down, homie.
Virtual hand pump. Fist pump. Why the fuck you want to do it? I don't know. But I look at it like this, man. Like I think another fight you got to bring up, and this was the first fight with Joe Goosen, was Emmanuel Togo. Togo was able to get inside Ryan, was able to have success with Ryan, was able to land punches against Ryan Garcia. was able to punch Rip
How long ago was
Ryan.
that fight, dude? How long ago was that fight, though, man? That's a long time ago.
But here's the thing, Ryan hasn't fought since then.
I don't think Ryan's been chilling this whole time.
Ryan hasn't fought since then.
Wasn't
this
the heavier?
This is the second fight.
I can't even remember because of his long stretches of inactivity, Drew. He's had these long breaks that he's taken for medical health reasons. I'm not going to mock mental health reasons. I won't mock that or whatnot, but he has had long gaps, right? And he had that Tagwell fight where we all expected him with Joe Goossen to do much, much better. And it was like a learning curve thing. He actually went the distance with the guy you thought he could finish, which makes it very hard for me to believe that someone with the highest ring IQ in the sport of boxing, and I do think Tank is among the top 5 ring IQ in all of the sport of boxing, that he's going to be able to knock out Tank Davis. I just don't see that happening. But there's always that puncher's chance, which is why Nando says, hey, if you want to hedge your bet, and I agree with you, if you want to hedge your bet, why not? There's a lot of people, big people that think
I look at it like
you can
this.
always get caught with that left hand.
You take that left hand away from Ryan Garcia, he's done.
So he's a one-trick pony. He's a one-trick pony.
So Deontay Wilder, dude, I became world champion of a one-trick pony,
well,
man.
It did get him.
U.S. boxer, homie.
Yeah, it did get him a lot of wins.
Look who the 40 foot. Look who he fought before he went to the guy Tyson Fury that exposed his ass and beat the shit out of him.
He put Fury on his ass like 5 different times. He put Fury on his ass 5 different times, dude. He had fucking Fury puckered up in that last round, in that last fight. I mean, I'm a Tyson Fury fan, but let's be real, man. Wilder had him holding on.
Who was on his face? Who was on his face in the third fight? Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was a good fight, bro. Come on.
Is there anybody?
I'm not going to clown Wilder, but
who was on his face, though? Deontay Wilder.
Does anybody in the chat?
Hey, I got a question for Drew.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a question for Drew. Let's say Ryan does beat Tank. Let's say he beats him. I mean, let's say it for a second. Is that the best victory of anybody at lightweight right now on anybody's resume? Better than anything Loma's ever done? Better than anything that Devin's ever done? Better than anything Shakur's ever done? Better than any guys ever done? I mean, come on. If he knocks out Tank, that's better than anything Loma's ever won. What? Pedraza? Who? Gary Russell? Yeah, right.
Teofimo's win over Loma is the best win at light heavyweight.
He's not lightweight no more. He's not lightweight no more. He's 140 pounder now. He don't count.
Ryan's not lightweight either. He's 140 pounds. He fought his last fight 140 pounds.
You got you there.
Come on now.
You got a point. You got a point.
Well, Nando, I don't know. Nando, you bring up a really good point. Nando, he brings up a good point, and it's relevant as fuck because in May we're gonna have undisputed Devin Haney defending his titles again, giving Lomachenko, who was seen as the pound for pound, 135 pound. But it doesn't matter to the people who are going to be buying this pay-per-view because they've already in their heads created an illusion that Tank Davis is the greatest fighter in that division or in those divisions from 130 to 140 when he knocked out Mario Barrios and got a paper title. When he goes down to 130 and he knocks out, it's like they think he's the greatest fighter in that 10-pound weight range anyways, even though he doesn't hold those real titles like Devin Haney does. So it does matter, man. Does a win like that catapult him into a superstar? It does, man. Ryan Garcia is going to be an overnight sensation with a win like that. And the conversations are going to happen where people are going to start thinking, well, really, we're seeing the second coming of Oscar De La Hoya. Where does he go from here? Is the new Oscar De La Hoya?
I just look at it like this. Tank loses this fight. He really lost us. Like he was so when he's really not really shit, and he's done. Ryan loses this fight. He can move on from it and still have some productive career. This is like I said, Tank has a lot more on the line than Ryan does because he has yet to face an elite fighter, in my opinion, an elite fighter at 135, 140. And like every big name, he's blowing up in weight. Or, every big name that's on his resume is shot and he brought him up in weight. So, and he didn't look spectacular against Gamboa. He couldn't even knock a one-legged fighter out in Gamboa, where everybody else was able to knock him out. Isaac Cruz was able to knock him out, but he was fucking dumb. Pedraza is like, if you look at it like this,
the Pedraza win was good.
His best fucking win was Pedraza. That was his best fucking win. like Leo Santa Cruz, you bring him up from 126 to fight you.
122.
So,
Well, Drew, I gotta
Like Leo
disagree
said,
with you.
Can I say what?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Undo.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Here's the reason. I know Drew tries to pay me out as a Ryan fanboy, which I'm not. I'm just a fan of boxing, right? I want what's best for boxing. And if Tank wins, dude, you know he's gonna go right back to the PBC universe, and he's never gonna fight Loma. He's never gonna fight Devin. He's never gonna fight Regis Prograis. He's never gonna fight any of those guys, dude. Whereas Ryan, I think if he beats Tank, I think he will take on those challenges. You know, he's taking on Tank when nobody believed it would even happen. You know, everybody thought he was full of shit, and he made this fight happen. So I have a little bit more faith of Ryan. If he does win, he will continue this path.
So where I disagree with you, Drew, let me just say this. I agree with you that Ryan Garcia has nothing to lose on Saturday night because we've already proven that when under the tutelage of Oscar De La Hoya, Canelo Alvarez, around that same age, 23, 24, said, let me fight the best in the world. And he got a shot against, Money Mayweather right here in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand. And his career catapulted after that, just a series of successful wins. And he also took away that confidence. He had the confidence of, I've faced the best in the world and I've learned something from it. Nanda, you might be my co-host. I don't know if Drew left the show. So I don't think there's any downside. There really isn't a downside to Ryan Garcia losing because even Oscar De La Hoya early in his career faced the best and picked up some losses along the way. But if Tank Davis does lose...
That's a great take, Dave. I agree with you 100%, man. But again, like going back to Drew's point, man, I think it depends on how good the fight is, dude. If it's like where somebody gets spanked and gets embarrassed, that's not going to be good for either guy, man. It isn't. But it's a great fight, and everybody's excited. I mean, look at Deontay Wilder. He lost all 3 fights against Tyson Fury, but they were all great fights, and people want to see Deontay Wilder fight again. He's a big name, you know?
Yeah.
So it has to be a great fight, you know? People have to be entertained. Uh-huh.
And you bring up a good point. If this fight is sensational and does break current pay-per-view records, because, I mean, now we can't judge them from the past, but if it does really well, there's obviously going to be talks about a rematch because financially it's going to make a lot of sense if it's a smashing success. But for Gervonta Tank Davis, the idea, Drew said that he's done at 28 years old. I don't think he's done, but what it is going to force Gervonta Tank Davis to do, because he's been exposed by somebody like Ryan Garcia, who's not at his level yet, is he's going to be forced to go to the back of the line and actually fight like Devin Haney did, like Teofimo Lopez did. He's got to fight people the way the sanctioning bodies have people ranked. Like, bro, you're ranked number 7, 8. It's time to get in line and start going after those real titles to prove to everyone that you were and merited all the success you had as an attraction, as a ticket seller. You got to start fighting the real dudes at 135. But you don't think it'll happen. You don't think you think he'll fight?
If flag down, Dave.
Would you be open? No, would you be open to the idea that if he lost, that he has to fight people like Lomachenko, like Devin Haney, like Shakur Stevenson, man, a super fight, Shakur Stevenson and Tank. Even if Tank loses by I don't know, a surprise KO, I still think that's a great fight to see Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis.
Absolutely, man. Take it back to the old school, man. You know, like if he loses, I mean, yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm kind of rooting for Ryan just for that reason, man. Because it'll shake up the game a little bit, and it'll force Tank to stop jumping around in weight, quit taking these like little half-stepping fights versus Isaac Cruz, Mario Barrios, Leo Santa Cruz. Fights they're just paper titles, don't really mean nothing. They're great paydays. You know, you put money in his bank, good for him. At a certain point, man, you need to start putting some legacy fights. And if you want to be a Hall of Famer and you want to, have a lasting legacy, man, and he has a talent, dude. Like Tank has a talent, and for whatever reason, man, they just been scared to put him in there with guys. You know, he can put his flag down at 135 or 140 and say, hey, here I am, let's do it, and see what happens, man. I think it'll be good for the sport, basically, if Ryan wins this weekend. That's the only reason I'm rooting for Ryan. I think it'll be good for the sport, man. It'll shake up the game a little bit. Because I guarantee you, if Tank wins, we're never going to see him fight Loma. We're never going to see him fight Devin. We'll never see those fights. He'll go right back to the PBC universe. Before this fight got made, he was already talking about making an Isaac Cruz rematch. He really didn't want the fight with Ryan, except Ryan gave him everything they wanted. That's the only reason he made the fight.
Well, also I didn't want that fight where he'd recently brought up the 130-pound Dominican new champion. I didn't want him dragging up that. That pissed me off too. Gervonta recently dragging up that guy from 130 up to fight him. That wasn't very entertaining. It was kind of a schooling. So, man, Nando brings up a good point, Drew. And now I'm starting to wonder if I should be rooting for Ryan Garcia. That it would be good for the sport of boxing, because I want to see Tank Davis fight real threats like Shakur Stevenson, like Devin Haney. I want to see some really good fights, man, and other 135-pound fighters. There's even good fighters coming up at PBC, man. Frank Martin. How come there's never a discussion about a Frank Martin getting an opportunity against Shakur Stevenson?
Oh man, I don't think neither one of these guys are gonna do shit after this fight, regardless of who wins.
But you think they'll just go back to making the biggest paydays they can?
Yeah, because I'll be honest, man. I just don't see it, because when you can get away with it with fans who you fighting and everything, and fans are gonna make excuses for you, why not stop, make that paid and make that easy payday? And that's why I say, the worst thing when it comes to boxing is the fans, could be the fans, because a lot of them don't fucking call you out on shit. They agree on you on a lot of shit. Hey, he fought that fucking guy. Yeah, that guy's fucking been watched for fucking 5 fucking years. What's your point? And everything. But nah, I just don't see it. I really see both of them bringing up guys from lower weight classes to fight. That I just don't have confidence in either one of these guys. And Oscar's still going to make money off Ryan, and Ryan's going to still make money because of his social media following. So, end of the day, we're not going to see it. Would I like to see them fight other guys? Yes, they need to, because tell you the truth, their legacies don't mean shit. They're not. I can't consider them elite because they have not fought the cream of the crop yet. And
Brian's 24 years old. Don't compare him to Tank, though. Don't put him in the same barrel. It's not the same.
They're in the same barrel. I'm always putting them in the same barrel.
Bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit. No. These nuts.
Tank's almost 30 years old. He's gonna be 29 this year. You know what I'm saying? And Ryan's 24. He's the one that made this fight. Don't forget. I mean, I know. This reminds me of Canelo too. Early on in his career, everybody thought, he don't really want it. He really don't want it. He fought Lara. He don't really want it. He fought Danny Jacobs. He don't really want it. Constantly, he don't really want it forever until maybe a couple years ago. Finally, people changed their tune on him. Canelo went through the same shit with people like that, man, for the longest time. Even now, they're he don't want better Diaz. He don't want a piece of that. He don't want that rematch with Devo. And just people constantly, no matter what some people do, they're never going to like you. So that's just the way it is for Ryan. No matter what he does, same thing with De La Hoya back in the day. No matter what he did, some people just weren't going to like him. They didn't appreciate him until he retired.
You know what the
and
difference?
I'm telling you right now, dude, I'll put money. I mean, I know you're not going to believe Ryan until he fights Program on the next one, but he already proved it to me with this fight. This fight, if you say all you ever wanted was a payday, he didn't need Tank to get that payday. He could have been getting $1 million paydays for anybody, right? He didn't have to make this fight either, and he made it. He forced it. Even when people like you were saying he's full of shit, he ain't going to make this fight. This fight ain't going to happen. I'll believe when I see him in the ring. I remember what you were talking about, Drew, consistently the entire time. And even now, with the fight going to be on Saturday, you're still talking shit.
Here's the difference between Canelo and Ryan.
Why should I believe you instead of him?
When Canelo Canelo was 24 years old. He fought the likes of Shane Mosley, future Hall of Famer. What the fuck Ryan fought? Luke Campbell.
This is his first big fight at 24 years old. This is his first big fight at 24 years old. You're judging
he fought Mayweather at 24 years old.
Okay, guys.
There's the difference right there.
How old was Loma when he first had his first big fight? How old was Loma when he first had his first big fight? 29, 30 years old when he fought Teofimo? That was his first big fight. How old was Loma when he had his first big fight, finally? How old was Gennady Golovkin when he first had his first big fight?
His first
big
fight
fucking 30s.
Gary Russell, which was a pound-for-pound top 5 fight on the world. So what's
Gary Russell, fuck. People forget about that guy, man. Dude, that guy's fucking like the hedgehog they have that comes out once a year. that groundhog thing.
You got to save the Loma talk for later. Nando, you got to save the Loma talk for next month, babe, because we'll have a lot of time to talk about it. I want to bring up a good point here by Ruli Ramundo, because you know what, Joe Joyce got a lot of criticism for losing this weekend, but he said losing a few fights should not be that important. But today's modern day boxing says that you ain't shit if you lose a fight, and I agree 100% with you that that's a reason why a lot of these young fighters don't want to take the dangerous fights, or the fights that will cement a legacy. And that's why I do give proper credit for both of these guys for taking on this challenge. And, you know, I give credit to Ryan, who I haven't given much praise to over his professional career in the past 3 years that the Shoe Shine's been doing their live stream. But Team Batman Boxing, 100%. I agree with you. May the best man win, but I've got Tank stopping Ryan. I just feel Tank is the better boxer, much better rhythm. I think Tank's ability to slip off the line and counter will play a big factor. And if Tank was to lead, I don't think Ryan will evade that. Okay, so going back to the actual analysis of this fight, man, guys, this is why I think Tank Davis is going to easily and handily win this fight. And it's going to come down to basic footwork. The fact is that Ryan Garcia fights in a linear fashion, man. He's got these big feet, and he does not move laterally well. He is not a good dancer. Drew's pointed the chin, Drew, but you know that most shots that get set up, it's because of footwork. Now, he's had experience fighting two southpaws in Luke Campbell and Fortuna, but in those fights, you saw these mistakes being made over and over again. He cannot cut off the ring. The Tagbao fight, he cannot cut off the ring. He does not do well against fighters that can move. And Tank is going to give you angles all night long. That's what he does. He's a brilliant southpaw that can move, has fantastic lateral movement, which allows him to evade the power shots and also allows him to set up traps and also to set up his counter. So one of the big things that Ryan is still not impressed me on correcting, Drew, is when he throws that power right hand, and he's got a decent right hand. People do underestimate his right hand. It is a stinging right hand, but he puts his lead hand down, Drew. The lead hand drops, which is his jab hand, leaving his face completely exposed. And in some instances, if you go back and watch his recent highlights, you will see that when he throws that right power hand, his chin still comes up. And the Tank brilliantly moves laterally, which gives him an opportunity for his hook. A very dangerous hook. In fact, you guys can go watch the Mario Barrios, who is equally the height of Ryan Garcia, equally the walking weight of Ryan Garcia, and got chin checked by one of those hooks that I was just saying. Gervonta Tank Davis can move laterally and counter you with these tremendous hooks. Not to take away something that Ryan Garcia also has, is brilliant power in his hook, his left hook to the body and his left hook to the head. But when he throws it, Drew, even though he generates tremendous power and it's one of the most brutal shots in boxing today, his feet are clumsy. So he's not going to be able to do it successfully against Tank without getting countered. Y'all saw how Rolly Romero walked into that shot. Didn't even know it was coming. Didn't even see it. I just really firmly believe that if we go by experience, that the ring IQ of Gervonta Tank Davis is going to get him this victory. And it's most likely going to be by KO. But if you want to put your money on Ryan Garcia, man, it is a betting town. Do what you got to do. You can always hedge your bets. It pays handily. And you never know, man. This is boxing. Upsets happen all the time, like this weekend. And like Ruli Ramundo just said, you know, people criticize you and say you ain't shit because of a loss. Man, Joe Joyce will be back, and Joe Joyce will give a ton of fighters in the heavyweight division in the top 10 a loss. Because styles make fights. Joe Joyce isn't washed up. Ryan Garcia losing this Saturday, it ain't going to end his career. In fact, if he has a great fight, he might get a rematch opportunity, and his name and his presence will probably be even bigger in boxing because he fought, supposedly, you know, one of the best American fighters there is, period, man. I'll let you guys take. Drew, your thoughts on all that shit? I was talking about actual fight breakdown.
Break it down.
Key to success.
I look at it like this. Ryan Garcia is too flat-footed for Tank Davis. Ring IQ is going to be one of the things that decides this fight, and Tank has the better ring IQ. Ryan does keep his jab hand down. He has an Amir Khan weakness, the same weakness as Amir Khan. He keeps his chin out there. He's going to get hit with that. Ryan Garcia, if you take that left hand off him, he's nothing. You can easily win that fight if you take away his left hand. I really see Tank's footwork taking over and ring IQ taking over, his footwork taking over. I see Ryan getting stopped inside 8 rounds. And I see it can be I see a brutal knockout happening inside 8 rounds.
Nando, I'm going to give you a chance to give your prediction real quick, but shout out to my homegirl, Mom Food Planet Things, who says, random question, but who's going to watch the big George Foreman movie? I am. I love George Foreman, and I love boxing movies, and I bet it's going to be a shitload better than the recent Apollo Creed. Nando, your thoughts on how this fight's actually going to play out?
To be honest, you guys make both really good points, and I kind of, like I said, I favor Tank in this fight. I just do. You have to. Like you said, he has more experience, and he just has the better fundamentals also, and he's more patient. I think the key to the fight, if Ryan is to win, he's going to have to walk Tank down a little bit and work behind the jab. If there's no jab present at the beginning of this fight, he's in for a long night. He's going to get knocked out. I think he's going to have to work behind the jab and walk down Tank, and close his sides on him, and that's going to be key to the fight. So we'll see. I think the first 2 rounds will be very telling. But at the end of the day, too, man, both these guys have knockout power and can erase a deficit real quick.
Oh, definitely. I've never even seen Tank Davis hurt, but the size advantage is absolutely going to be in favor of Ryan Garcia. And he has like those really, like we talked about, man, these are some incredible gifts he has with his left hand. He can hurt you to the body. He can hurt you up top with that left hook, the lead hook, the counter hook. But is he going to land them, man? If he can land them early in the first 6 rounds, I say he has a good chance of pulling off an upset if he can land it in success with frequent success. That's going to be the key. Can Ryan Garcia land his heavy hand punches with success, with repetition, over and over again, enough to get Tank off his game plan? Guys, don't forget, man, Tank Davis starts really slow. Whether you want to call it downloading data or whatnot, like Floyd Mayweather used to say, downloading data. He's a slow starter. Mario Barrios was up practically at a draw. You remember Mario Barrios, Drew? That dude was up like a tie scorecard up until the 7th or 8th round. But ultimately, he got finished by Tank, too.
I look at it like this, Willie. I think a right hand's going to catch Ryan. That when he throws that right hand, Ryan, and that jab hands down, Tank's going to counter. He's going to catch him right square on the chin, and it's going to be a knockout. That's the knockout punch.
His lead hook, he's a southpaw, so his right hand would be his lead hook, come over the guard, the low guard, and drop it. He can, man. He knocked out Mario Barrios with his right hand, and that's just crazy to think how much power a fighter can have in both hands. It's like knocking somebody out with the left hand jab or some shit. We'll see, man. Everybody leave your predictions as you can. Team Batman Boxing says Tank's power is special. It is crazy. It is. You remember those boxing games, Drew? They have these boxing things where you can actually go to an arcade and hit it, and it measures supposedly your power. But but Tank did that on ESPN one time, and he hit the thing as hard as Deontay Wilder. So not that there's any science behind that. I got a 960
on mine. I hit a 960.
Nando, you hear that?
Possess one
you want to bet Drew on one of those?
I possess one punch knockout power too. I can't.
You're 960. Oh fuck, man! Come on. No scorecards needed in this fight. You seen Tank hit that punch machine, beat Wilder? Yeah, that's what I saw. Not that there's any science behind that, but Momfu said, yeah, those things are fun. Yeah, I'd like to have one in my house just for shits and giggles. That'd be pretty cool. It's time to wrap up the show, guys. But listen, I do have some exciting news for this week. All right, I'm going to have another show on Wednesday. Maybe possibly Drew will drop a video, an expanded video this week. That would be nice, Drew, if you did one of your extended videos. Maybe we can get Drew to do one of those. But this Wednesday, guys, I got some time off, and I'll be headed down to the MGM Grand Arena. And yes, you could watch Media Day, which is where all the boxers are going to come and show off their skill set. You can watch it on Showtime. But it's not like Showtime's going to be talking right back to you, man. So join me this Wednesday. Make sure you remember during the Media Day. It starts around 1 o'clock p.m. I'm going to head down there, man. I'm going to head down to the MGM Grand, see what kind of trouble I can get into. Also bought a gimbal. So if you saw my last one, it was a little bit shaky. So now I'll be having the gimbal. I'll be interacting with you guys, and we'll go through the whole card. and you guys can give me your thoughts on this whole card. There's some pretty good fighters on there. Let me know what you guys think of them, what they look like on their media day. And Ryan Garcia and Tank will not be working out for the public, but it is rumored that they will be there in attendance to meet the fans and give you a little preview of what's to come this week, man. Media day, it's Wednesday, so make sure you tune in on Wednesday around 1 o'clock. I'll be going down to the MGM Grand Casino to check that out. Nando, thank you so much for joining us on the phone call. Shout out to everybody. Don't forget, help us out, man. I'm just like 2-3 subscribers away from 500, and after that, I want to see 1,000 before the end of the year so I could be monetized and Drew could be monetized, and we could put money back and invest it into the show and the product, man. Drew, your final thoughts on this weekend on Joe Joyce? Is he washed up? Who knows, man? What's on your mind, homie?
Oh man, these AJ fans were trying to make jokes about it, but it looked like that AJ didn't really do shit against Jermaine Franklin. So what the fuck's their point? You know what, man? Oh man, what can I say? People. When it comes to boxing, people, you can tell which ones are the stupid ones and which ones are the smart ones. Seriously. You can really tell which one is a low IQ motherfuckers around here.
Sheesh.
Not saying names.
All right, Nando says Joyce will be back. Jose El Compita, shout out to my homeboy Urban AZ. He says, let's hit that 1,000K. Come on. I know I need to work more. Guys. I know I need to put more effort, and that's why I said Wednesday, I'm going to get off of work early, and I'm going to head down to the MGM Grand Casino. So support me. Make sure you drop in and say what's up and give me a little action in the chat. Thank you, everyone that joined and tuned in. I'll see you guys Wednesday. Until then, peace out, everybody. Peace.